Hello and welcome to part 3 of our video of going through this massive box of cards I found on Facebook Marketplace. So far we've had a couple random baseballs sprinkled in, a NASCAR card was sprinkled in here as well, but mostly it's been football cards. Yeah, so we found a couple good things in here so far, so let's continue digging and see what else we can unfold here. All right, I got a stack right here. We'll start going through. All right, so there we go. We've got Charles Wilson, Johnny Hector, Bruce Smith. Not a bad way to start. All right, who's that? Hampton, Rodney Hampton. All right, Jeff George. We've got Napoleon Hoffman. That's an interesting looking card. John Elliott. And a random basketball card here. Bill Curley. All right, we'll put that to the side. Oh, I got even more basketball. Reggie Miller. All right, I'm going to put Reggie here. Our good pile. Danny Manning. Henry Thomas. Trev Alberts. Robert Massey. Willie Green. Nate Odoms. Ken Norton. Kerry Collins. Jim Harbaugh. Dallas Clark. Willie Davis. Rob Johnson. Mickey Washington. Irv Smith. Mike Johnson. Robert Porcher. Lomas Brown. Brett Perryman. Scott Mitchell. Robert Massey. Bobby Herbert. Morton Anderson. Marshawn Lynch. Chris Miller. Mike Ken. Elvis Gerbach. Bryant Young. Bill Romanowski. John Taylor. All right. Blair Thomas. All right, looks like we're back to, we got a baseball. We got a Braves leader from 87 Tops. All right. Looks like we're getting into NASCAR now. All right, we've got Hermie Sadler, Tim Fedua, Brett Bodine, Ward Burton. I'm going to be honest with you guys, I know absolutely zero about NASCAR, so I'm not sure if any of those guys are any good or not. So if you are a NASCAR fan, let me know in the comments. It'd be much appreciated. All right, who we got here? Lorenzo Styles. Lori Bennett. Cornelius Bennett. Jim Kelly. Ben Talley. Chris Zorich. Joel Smensey. Bobby Houston. We got LaDainian Tomlinson Football Heroes, another one of those. All right, we got one in the previous video. Sean Landetta. All right, we've got Fred Miller, Olin Cruz, John Tates. Scott Gregg. Russell Freeman. All right, looks like we've got another NASCAR here. Brett Bodine. Ernie Irvan. Another Ernie Irvan. Rusty Wallace. Ricky Rudd. Bobby Hamilton. All right, again, I have no idea who any of those guys are. So if you're a NASCAR fan, let me know if I got something there. Jeff Legman. Jeff Larman. Another NASCAR. Ricky Craven. Ricky Prohl. Larry Centers. Alex Molden. All right. Alfred Pupanu. Courtney Hall. Tony Baselli. Excuse me. Robert Smith. Derek Brown. Ron Dane. Terrell Buckley. This one looks like it might be a numbered card here. Nolan Harrison. Put that to the side and do a little more digging on that one. Jonathan Hayes. Bobby Labonte. Patty Moyes. All right, we've got Mo Lewis. Brett Favre in the Jets uniform. It's a nice one. Let me fix the camera here. Brett Bodine. Sterling Martin. Wayne Simmons. J.J. Burden. Mel Gray. A couple more NASCAR cards. We got Ernie Irvan, Bill Elliott, Eric Metcalf. Ricky Waters. Jeff Hurd. Jackie Harris. Edgar Bennett. Andrew Glover. Dropping everything here today. Mike Sherrard. Take a smaller stack here. Chris Carter. Barry Sanders. That's a nice card. Herman Moore. Got another Barry Sanders. Chris Carter. Louis Tillman. Henry Ellard. Andre Collins. Gerard Bunch. All right, looks like another interactive card. All right, we've got Tyrone Wheatley. We got a checklist with, is that Jerry Rice on the checklist? I believe so. It's Jerry Rice on the checklist. Sean Merriman. Tracy Seaman. Dana Stubblefield. Rahib Ismail. Mark Wheeler. Santana Dotson. Chris Carter. Felipe Sparks. Jimmy Holland. Brett Favre. Is that John Carney, I think. Yep. Stan Humphries. Ellis Johnson. Aaron Hayden. Stan Humphries. Brian Still. Andre Coleman. Natrone Means. Rodney Hampton. Leland McElroy. Robert Brooks. Rodney Massey. Bruce Smith. All right, let's grab another handful here. Ben Patrick, Kenneth Davis, Terrence Mathis, Jerome Bettis, The Bus, Jeff Hostetler, is Marshall Falk, Buster Davis. It's a Flair preview card of Rodney Hampton, Kevin Pritchett, Al Harris, Tim Harris, Donnell Wolford, Ken Harvey, Tyrone Hughes, Rocket Ismail, Mike Jones, Rocket Ishmael, Tony Smith, Morton Anderson, Irv Smith, Mike Fox, Steve Bono. Jim Everett, Willie Roaf, Jamarcus Russell, the biggest bust in the NFL. Sterling Sharp. All right, Steve Young, Fuad Rivas, David Palmer, Cornelius Bennett, Sean Collins, Natrone Means, Sean Jones, Reggie Brooks, Andre Rison, Johnny Mitchell, Ricky Jackson, Irv Smith, Charles Johnson, Joe Johnson, Johnny Mitchell, Gino Torretta, Tony Drayton, Irv Smith. Reuben Brown, Roosevelt Potts, Reggie Roby, Harold Green, Nick Lowry. It's a Fleer Ultra checklist. Marvin Harrison, Desmond Howard, Jim Kelly, Ricky Sanders, Darryl Green, Henry Ellard, Andre Collins, Tom Carter, Steve Young, Dave Craig, Mike Shepard, Chris Dolman, Broderick Thomas, Neil Rackers, Harry Collin, Justin Harrell. J.J. Stokes. Another J.J. Stokes. A 94 Draft Classic checklist. Stan Humphries. Elise O'Neill. Junior Seau. Danny Werfel. Derek Thomas. Steve Bono. Dave Craig. Willie Jackson. Chip Lowmiller. Dave Craig. Bryant Jones. Bryant Young. All right. Rob Moore. Garrison Hurst. Dave Craig. Dave Brown. Sean Jones. James Jett. Jeff Hostetler. Another Brett Favre. Donnell Wolford. Alonzo Spellman. Lewis Tillman. Sean Gale. Chris Gedney. Charles Mann. Ricky Irvins. Ernest Spiner. Bart Oates. Another Junior Seau. Michael Brooks. Keith Hamilton. Dave Meggett. Tony Woods. Corey Raymer. Heath Schuler. It's a blast from the past for us Commander/Redskins fans. Dave Brown. Frank Sanders. Deion Sanders. Kerry Collins. Junior Seau. Mark C. Tom Carter. Tony Martin. Rob Fredrickson. Henry Thomas. Billy Joe Hobart. Dave Meggett. Buffalo rolls on, 1990 replay. It's Jim Kelly in action. Put that to the side. Brad Muster. James Stewart. Chris Jackson. Jason Sehorn. Lewis Tillman. Steve Young. Rodney Hampton. Aaron Hayden. Rob Moore. Brett Favre. Anthony Morgan. Anthony Smith. Reggie White. Barry Sanders. Tim Brown. Roy Barker. Craig Newsome. George Kunis. John Anderson. Terrell Buckley. Jeff Harris. Ron Rivera. Ooh, there's Coach there. I'm going to go ahead and pull that. All right, Tyrone Stowe. Rob Fredrickson. Tim Brown. Another Tim Brown. Michael Timpson. Bobby Ingram. Mel Stinson, Steve Young, Amon Harris, Richie Anderson. Went to high school with Richie, actually. Stan Humphries, Sean Gale, LaShawn Johnson, Edgar Bennett, Mark Chimura, Leroy Butler, another Junior Seau, Robert Brooks, Terrell Fletcher, Stan Humphries, Mike Shepard, Jimmy Oliver, Bruce Smith, Jim Kelly. Curtis Martin, Eric Ogbogu, Adrian Murrell, Kerry Collins, Tim Biancatunca, Greg Davis, Brett Favre, Clyde Simmons, Freddie Joe Nunn, Keith Jackson, another NASCAR, Bobby Labonte, Heath Schuler, Tamarick Vanover, Neil Smith, Steve Bono, Bruce Smith, Brett Favre, and is that Rick Feeney? All right, we've got the Chase program checklist. All right, Chris Spielman, Marvin Washington, Boomer Esiason, Johnny Mitchell, Nick Lowry. What is that there? That is David Palmer, Kevin Glover, Jameer Miller, Orlando Thomas, Ray Zellers, Curtis Conway, Irv Smith, Barry Sanders, Brett Perryman, Bryce Pop, George Teague, Garrison Hurst, Arenas Williams, Johnny Johnson, Louis Sharp, Fred Taylor, Clyde Simmons, and Boomer Esiason, the big play. Gaston Green, is that who that is? Gaston Green, yep. All right. Chad Cotto, Kurt Warner, Deion Sanders, Philip Sparks, Marquez Pope, Kevin Lockett, Mel Gray, Willie Clay, Keenan McCardell, that is Steve Stenstrom, Steve Walsh, Jim Everett, Vince Ruck. Lewis Tillman, Blake Dawson, Kyle Brady, Thomas Lewis, Todd Collins, Tyrone Wheatley, Frank Sanders, Rodney Hampton, Bobby Herbert, Reggie Wayne. All right, let's do, this video is getting a little bit longer than I was hoping it would be, so let's do one more stack here and call it a video. All right, take that one too. Mark Brunell, Dallas Clark, Michael Begston, Vernon Davis, William Floyd, Chris Spielman, Steve Jordan, Derek Alexander, Anthony Carter, Carlos Jenkins, Quadri Ismail, Vincie Glenn, Jack Del Rio, Chris Carter, Dennis Glenn, Ed McDaniel, another Chris Carter, Derek Alexander. All right, next stack. We've got Chris Miller, Craig Haywood, Kimball Anders, Neil Smith, Steve Stenstrom, Derek Thomas, John Vaughn, Joe Montana, Dale Carter, Ricky Prohl, Dale Carter, Arenas Williams. All right. We've got Dwayne Rudd, Reggie Roby, Stanley Richard, Ricky Irvins, Martin Mayhew, Ricky Irvins, Terrell Buckley, Bill Moss, Johnny Holland, Santana Dotson, Sterling Sharp, and finally Rob Moore, Jay Schrader, Charles Woodson, Steve Wasinski, Terry McDaniel, Eric Ball, Tim Brown, Greg Bikert, Chester McLaughlin, George Teagues, John Jerkovic, Sean Jones, and finally Reggie White. All right, that's part 3. Thank you. As you can see, we still have a lot more here in this tub to go through, but we'll get it eventually. All right, thank you so much for watching. Please remember to hit the subscribe button. Give us a like. If you feel like I've missed anybody, please let me know in the comments. Thanks for watching.